Hello everybody, my name is Offbeat Outlaw. Welcome to Broken Builds. I am your host, Offbeat Outlaw, and today we're going to be making a build that... I don't know why I'm laughing, this isn't funny. It's just a build that will guarantee yourself to go first. You've read the title. We know what this is all about. This build will guarantee your first placement in the initiative order every time. And if you would like to see the character sheet that I built, be sure to check out the Patreon in the link in the description. And you know what, if you want to see more builds and some funny skits, hit that subscribe button. That was my best attempt at being sexy. I don't think it worked. I'm going to be implementing a system at the end of all of these build videos to let you know whether or not I would use it and whether or not you should use it. These are going to be two separate scores rated on a set of 1 to 10 to make sure that there's no confusion. Because a lot of these builds are cool, but they're not necessarily useful. They're cool to see and they're cool to do, like the Nuclear Paladin, but they're not useful like the Titan Shifter, in my opinion. So that is what I'm going to be doing at the end of this one. So stick around if you want to see if I would recommend you do this. I mentioned something about always going first. Let me sell you on this idea. Don't you hate it when your wizard is taking 7 centuries to decide their attack? You go and water your plants, you make yourself a cup of tea, you get a beer, you get a drink, you get a whole goddamn feast ready, and by the time you've eaten it, the wizard still hasn't decided, and they just go and pick Fireball anyway, and the night's over because they spent 7 years to pick their turn, and you couldn't do anything in combat. Not speaking from personal experience. I know that is annoying. I hate it. I hate it. I hate being that guy. I don't want to be that guy, and I don't think you want to be that guy either. Which is why I have created a build that will ensure, well, first place every single time. Guaranteed, no questions asked. Here's how you do it. First thing you want to do is get your handy dandy little character sheet. I'm going to call this guy Quick Attack. With all of these builds, I make sure that you can use them in your own D&D game, so there's no dice rolls, there's no ridiculous stuff. I'm going to make sure that all of these builds work using the point buy system. You see this right here? Initiative. We need this number to be high, because how that works, how initiative works when you decide the order of combat, you roll your d20, add this bonus, and whoever's got the highest number gets to go first. It's pretty simple. We want this number to be as high as possible. Most people will only get their dexterity modifier as their initiative bonus. But there are some characters that get other bonuses. This is what we're gonna do. Scroll up here, pick your race, human variant. First thing we're gonna do is, well, we're gonna have to get our scores. Now our strength's gonna be 8. That's kind of bad. With point buy, the maximum score you can get is 15 at base. And we're gonna need 3 scores to do this. And wisdom. And we're dumping charisma. We're not very strong. We're quite fast, but we're also not very internally strong. We're pretty smart, which is pretty cool. And we're relatively wise. But we're about as charming as a dumpster, which is less good. So yeah, that's our current character, which is less than ideal, I guess you could say. We got pretty good stats, but how do we make this character go first? Well, time to make them have the human variants. So human variants get a +1 in 2 different stats. So I'm going to be giving them a +1 in dexterity and a +1 in wisdom. Why is that? I'll explain later. Have patience. Have some goddamn patience. So, our dexterity, I'm not going to calculate the other bonuses, but our dexterity bonus is +3, our wisdom bonus is +3, and our intelligence bonus right now is +2. In features and traits, if we scroll down here, this is where I usually add all the feats and stuff. And we're a human variant, which means we got a feat at level 1. We're going to be taking the alert feat. The alert feat has a few nifty things, one of which being that you are never surprised, the other one being that you get a +5 bonus to your initiative. That is what we really wanted. Now we get to add our dexterity modifier, which is that number right there. And we get to add the +5, which would equal +8 initiative. This is already a really good initiative score. +8 means you're going to be going first in most fights. If you want to get a 20 in initiative score, which it will beat most other people, you only need to roll a 12, which is only like a little bit above average. This is an excellent place to start. But it's not enough. See, I want more. I'm greedy like that. So we're going to be doing some stupid stuff to get there. That stupid stuff being our good old Ranger subclass known as the Gloom Stalker. Now, I love the Gloom Stalker. I think the Gloom Stalker is one of the best Ranger classes that you can have. It's edgy, it's cool, and more importantly, it gives us a bonus to our initiative should we desire it, which is great. How it works is you get a bonus to your initiative equal to your wisdom modifier at level 3. So we're going to be 3rd level ranger, bada boom, plus 11. Wow, we're already making so much progress on this build. So now we have a plus 11 to our initiative. This is already just ridiculous. This is crazy. You don't need this much initiative in combat, but it's always good to have. So we have a plus 11 to our initiative. But why did we dump into intelligence? That seemed frivolous. Well, that is because of an incredible subclass for the wizard, the War Wizard, or the War Mage. So what that does, once you get 2 levels in Wizard, so let's just hop onto our character sheet, 2 Wizard, you get to add your intelligence modifier also to your initiative. So we're just going to go here, and our intelligence modifier is a cool plus 2. We were at plus 11, so now it is plus 13. Now, if you rolled a 7, if you rolled a 7 at this point, you would already be going first. But we're not here to stop now. We've come too far. We have only further to go. We need to figure out how to make these scores go up. We need these scores to be as high as possible. First thing you're going to do in your level up process, once you reach level 3 Gloomstalker and level 2 Wizard, is you're going to want to take 1 more level in Ranger and get that ASI. What an ASI does is it allows you to bring up your base attributes by 2 points. And what we're going to do here is we're going to put in one of those ASIs into our dexterity, bringing this up to plus 4, bringing this up to 14. Now, I'm gonna be honest, guys. This build is greedy. This build is absolutely greedy and stupid, but I love it so goddamn much. No other build, no other build will allow you to go first like this one. So now we have plus 14. How do we get faster? That's the question on everyone's mind. How do we go first? I can already hear you in the comment section. Outlaw, what is the point of this ridiculous build? What is the point of going first? You see, going first not only allows you to set up different stuff in the battlefield before your opponents and the rest of your team, but there are also special things that bosses get. Some bosses, they get these actions called lair actions. Now, lair actions don't occur on anyone's particular turn. They occur on their own order in the turn order. So let's just say that your initiative is 21, and there's several other people who are below 20, like a 19 and 18, a 17. So you'd go, but then a lair action only occurs on initiative count 20, losing speed ties. So if you are faster than the lair action, you can take out precautions to prepare for it, or to even prevent it. So we would only need to roll a 6 in order for us to beat that lair action. That's already really, really good. So that's why this build has a specific purpose, even if it's a little silly. But now we've run into a bit of a roadblock. You see, even if we leveled up the Ranger to level 18, or the Wizard to level 17, we would not have enough ASIs to bring these scores up to any ridiculous degree. Truly saddening. What do we do? Do we give up? No. Never give up. Never surrender. Multi-class. So we're gonna multi-class into fighter. Take your remaining 14 levels in fighter. Oh, this build. Why do we do that? Fighters get the most ASIs out of any other class in Dungeons & Dragons. This build would then allow us to get 5 ASIs to add to our different scores, which, if you can do the math for me, means we can bring up our total points by 10. So, let's do that. We would get to add 1, 2 to our dexterity, bringing it up to 20. 3, 4, 5. we get to add 2 ASIs to our wisdom, bringing it up to 20. And for intelligence, we get 2 more ASIs, bringing it up to 19. Wow. Bringing the total bonuses to 5, 4, and 5. Bringing our initiative score up to a whopping 19. This is a stupid build. I can't stress this enough. This build is nonsensical. You would never need a 19, okay? You might need a 10 if you, for that previous aforementioned reason of beating layer actions, but a 19? If you rolled a 10, which is average, you get a 29. You're faster than lightning. You are faster than the crumbling chasm. You are an absolute speed unit. You are the priority quick attack of Dungeons and Dragons. Now, what subclass should you use for fighter? I am honestly undecided as to what subclass you should use. I have thought about doing Battle Master for the extra damage and control over your opponents. I've thought about doing the Eldritch Knight to make use of this whopping intelligence score. I have thought of a few subclasses for the fighter. In all honesty, I think this character is already a part spellcaster, so I think the Eldritch Knight is the way to go for your subclasses, just to get a few more spells, and also getting access to some low-level wizard spells, and some ranger spells as well. This is a really cool spellcaster that can really set up the battlefield for the rest of your team before anyone else, even if you are a little squishy considering you have an absolutely abysmal constitution score of 8. So that's the build. And now I wonder, you all are probably wondering, Outlaw? Outlaw. What's the damage though? What's the damage? We all want to know the damage. Well, I can tell you what the damage is right now. After I calculate it. So on this penultimate first turn that you are definitely going to have, and you will be first, Dread Ambusher with the Gloomstalker Ranger has a nifty little feature where every time they take the attack action on their first turn, they get to attack an extra time. Because you are a fighter at level 14, you can make 3 attacks per extra attack. With the addition of Dread Ambusher, that is on your first turn, an additional attack. So, on this penultimate first turn, should you desire it, you can. On this penultimate first turn, you can make pretty incredible 8 attacks when you utilize your fighter's action surge. Because Dread Ambusher does not say once on your turn, it says when you take the attack action. That means if you action surge, you get to add on that extra attack again. So in this first turn, which you will definitely have, by the way, you will be dealing, let's say you're using a rapier for the finesse. Because of the 8 attacks, and because when you use the Dread Ambusher attacks, you add on an extra d8, you'll be dealing 10d8 plus 40 damage. That's 89 damage right off the get-go. That is pretty crazy for just before anyone gets to attack. I think this build is super cool. I think it is absolutely hilarious to have an initiative score of plus 19. If you rolled a 1, you will still beat the lair actions. You will still beat probably most of your party. It is an absolutely ridiculous build. Time for me to give it my rating. Alright guys, I'm gonna be honest. Would I use it? Yes. I would definitely use this in a level 20 one-shot just to see what ridiculous stuff I can pull off. And see what kind of cool spells I can utilize as well. Now, should you use it in an actual D&D game? No. No. This is not an optimal build. This is an absolutely min-max to crap build. This would be fun for a bit, but in an actual D&D with an actual long D&D campaign, I think it has way too many shortcomings to be worth using long term. You are way too squishy. You are way too susceptible to failing your con saves, strength saves, and charisma saves, which are quite common in Dungeons and Dragons. So I think overall the build is not too useful. If you wanted to make this useful, you can still have an initiative score of plus 15 if you just went pure Gloomstalker Ranger and got some cool stuff. I think the fighter really is what will make this build shine, and not necessarily the ranger and wizard aspects if you're going to go the pure plus 19 route. For what it's worth, I would rate this build for my personal usage. I would rate it an absolute 8 out of 10. I would probably use this in a one-shot if it was not too deadly. Would I recommend you using this? No. 3 out of 10 on the should you use this score. That was a cool build. Thank you guys so much for watching this. I plan on doing more of these build things in this format. I'm liking my stream deck. I'm liking the ability to bonk whenever I want. And be able to swap between the screens and actually show you guys a little bit of how the character sheet works. The fully fold out character sheet will be on my Patreon as promised. Thank you guys so much for watching me. Let me know what you think of the build. Is there a way to get it to plus 20? I currently do not think so, but without using magic items, but I'm open to be proving wrong as I have been wrong before. Anyway, hope you had a great time watching this. Thank you so much. Get the fuck out of my house.